Today marks 1639 day of daily lessons, daily reflections. And today we speak a very interesting topic, and I think it's extremely important topic, and that is alignment. I don't speak about physical alignment, I speak about internal alignment. And I want to share that because I think that in the last couple of months, the last probably couple of weeks, I have been aligned the most I've ever been in my life. I've been very aligned, I was very misaligned, and I think that this is a time when I have the most alignment I ever had because I had time to really be still because I never been still. I was very, very disciplined to do, to execute, to really perform, to hustle, to grind. But I've never been disciplined with stillness. And last month, I was very disciplined, which is stillness, allowing things to come, allow the clarity to come, allow not to rush, not to urge to really do things. And I think that sometimes for people like myself who wants to hustle, grind, to be disciplined, to not to do is extremely important. I think that's a beautiful thing because now when I had that time with stillness, now I'm able to really execute that actions coming from alignment rather than from urge to do things. Otherwise, you feel guilt, shame for not doing anything, and you potentially could feel that you're falling behind. But now, when you really sit down and you really allow yourself to be still, that alignment could come. So today we'll share what people who align do. And I think that is a beautiful thing when you think about in everything in life, be able to measure from 1 to 10. Where are you at right now from 1 to 10? I think that at the most aligned, but I still there's a lot of room for improvement. And today we'll share 7 things that people do who are aligned. Number one, they do what they said they would do, especially when it's convenient. And this is extremely important. And I think that the key part is here that say do ratio. So how much you said you will do and then how much you actually do it. One thing is that sometimes you're able to ask, okay, why is that? I say so many things, but I don't do it. It's such an important topic because when your say do ratio is low, your confidence is low, your self-respect is low, your self-trust is low, everything is low. So how to supposed to pursue your goals, your dreams, your direction, your vision when everything is low? So alignment is important, and then the question is sometimes maybe I have a say high say the ratio because I'm pursuing some kind of dream, not my dream, someone else's dream, because I want to look good in front of someone else. And I think that's again will create procrastination, create a lot of things. So alignment, when you know exactly what you're supposed to do, then you actually say that you will do, and you will do it because that is alignment. You know that you want to do it for your own reason. Number two, the life feels simple, not chaotic. When you feel aligned, you start to look into your plate, what's inside the plate, and remove things out of the plate. And you leave all the essentials, non negotiables. This is exactly what they're supposed to do. When you're not aligned, when you don't know, sometimes when you're in a dark place, even, and you don't know where is left, where is right, where is up, where is down, you put everything on the plate. Maybe this one will help. Maybe this one will help. Maybe this one will help. So you have so many actions, so many directions, and it feels hard when you align, when you allow yourself to have the stillness, when you understand where is the direction, when you understand what is beneficial, when you understand what is non-negotiable, things become simple because as you start to say no more often to things that is not adding value to you, and saying that only for the things that matter. And when you say only things when it matters, at that moment life becomes more simple. Otherwise, there's a lot of unfinished tasks because you start a lot of things but you don't finish. Number three, they can tolerate discomfort without escaping it. When you aligned, you know that this is exactly what you're supposed to do. This is non-negotiable. So you potentially could be bored, disappointed, anxious, uncertain, frustrated. It doesn't matter what kind of feeling you are experiencing while doing it, you still will do it because you're aligned. When you're not aligned, when it's bored, we start asking, maybe not for me. I supposed to feel something, but now I don't feel it. Maybe we'll try something else. I try something new, and that newness brings excitement and motivation, joy. Oh, maybe this is, and then at some point we'll get bored, and I said, probably this is not what it's supposed to do. So a lion person is able to really keep doing something, even though that they are feeling discomfort, and they not escape it. Number four, their habits don't betray their values, and this is big, especially it could be even for people pleasers. They do some actions because they want to look a certain way, not what they actually want. They do have it because of the mask that they have it. And sometimes even they don't know intentionally. Unintentionally, they do wrong things. When I think about it, guilty, 100% guilty. And the thing about the values, I said that my most important thing is family. When you look at your hours, you will look at your resources, time, money, energy. Where do you actually allocate it? So that my health is the most important thing. But when you look into your diet, what you eat, how much time do you allocate to exercise, how much time do you actually allocate to sleep, maybe your habits actually show a total different picture. So being able to audit your time, audit your resources, audit your energy, where you actually allocate it is extremely important. So a person who's aligned, their actions, their habits actually align with their values, and this is extremely important. Number five, they don't over-explain themselves for uh, to feel legitimate. And I'm guilty as well. Like I used to think that I need to really find reasonable excuse, reasonable justification. But when you know exactly that this is what you're supposed to do, and sometimes you don't have time to allocate to other things, and you don't need to explain all the details why you were not able to do certain things. Because sometimes said that I will do this one, but then you realize and you build alignment. You know exactly what you're supposed to do, so you didn't do that. Yeah, you don't need to justify why you didn't do the other parts that is additional, as optional, they're not important. I said I just didn't have time to do it, and I said that I have more important things to do. You don't need to justify all the things, and I think it's extremely important. Just act. They act only on the important things, and not just don't justify the things that they did or didn't do. Number six, they can be alone without collapsing in stimulation, and this is extremely important. When you're not aligned, when you are a little bit lost, you be sometimes maybe there is some kind of things that you need to work through. You avoid yourself, you avoid your own thoughts because you're afraid that you will realize what the things that you're avoiding, what kind of fears you have, and you want stimulation to run away of your own thoughts. But when you align, when you know that you're doing the right thing, when you know that you're working on things, when you know that you're developing yourself within yourself, at that moment you totally are okay just having and hearing your own thoughts, having that stillness within you. And it's a beautiful thing because when you allow that stillness, sometimes at the beginning might be difficult to hear those thoughts. But the more you release those thoughts, allow those thoughts and release those thoughts and allow that stillness to stay and again get comfortable with those thoughts, get comfortable with discomfort. At that moment, those that noise, those distractions of will start to disappear. And last one, number seven, they feel stable respect for themselves, even during imperfections. They feel stable respect for themselves. And this is extremely important. Respect is the foundation of pursuing something meaningful because I think that standards are coming from respect as well. Even our friends, our significant other, our food that we eat, our exercises is coming from self-respect. If you don't respect yourself, you'll eat shit. If you don't exercise, you look into your mirror and you look into that. There's a little bit fatter version of you. Maybe there's a sort of respect is struggling, and that's part of say do ratio. What you said you will do, keeping a promise to yourself, and when you really have respect and you know who you exactly becoming, your behavior will match all the time, most of the time, because of course there's no perfection, but you're able to seek that. So it doesn't matter how much you fail or succeed, respect stays in a baseline, and this is extremely important for a aligned person. The last one, just want to simplest way to sum it up is that a aligned person is someone who has closed the gap between intention and behavior enough that self-trust is the default state, not something they have to earn daily. Because I was in that state for a long time that I needed to perform on a daily basis to keep that self-respect, to keep that 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 feeling of worthiness. Because if you didn't perform, you didn't work, you feel guilty and shameful, and you feel behind. But when you align, that changes, and coming actions from alignment, and when you're coming from not pressure, but from really content and joy that you're pursuing in the right direction, is such a different way of living life because life in general has a lot of pressure, but when you unintentionally putting more pressure on yourself, that is not healthy, that is holding you back to carrying that luggage for no reason whatsoever. So I hope you should reflect. This is a beautiful topic. What is alignment for me, and what do I need to do to really be better at it? Because it's like you're able to measure from 1 to 10 where you're at, and then get better at it. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.